Okay, YouTube, we're going to start reassembling the gear. First part, we're going to put the little this piece back here that's on the selector knob. You can see there's 3D tent holes there for the ball when you spin the little selector. These have got to go to the top towards the lettering. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the shaft. This part right here, the small keyway, comes to the top because that's where the gear really meshes with the motor gear, and there's like another gear on top of that. So basically, we need to put a bearing on top of here, slide it in, and then basically feed this through the little slot there. So when we slide this in, the small part, there's a big and small gear. The small gear is towards the top. So this bearing's got to go below flush there to get the snap ring on. So zoomed in right there. I'm going to take a little punch and get that below. There we go. It's below flush. And then we'll put a snap ring on there next. Okay, snap rings in. I can go ahead and put that back forward. As you can see, it's already turning there. So I'm going to install the fork, and then this part right here. One thing I do want to show you is that basically, it's going to be hard to see me do it. This right here basically goes here and controls the fork going up and down. And then this right here, when it goes through there, will hook onto here, and when you rotate it, it brings it up and down. Now the thing to be cognizant of, there's a screw there. Okay, we got to tighten on the shaft. And if you can see right here, there's a little detent right there, so that screw basically threads in, pushes on that so it doesn't slip and you go back and forth. Okay, YouTube, we're going to try to get this fork put in here. I've kind of messed around, it looks like it's doable with the shaft locked in. So here is the high-low selector. There are three devices that go in here. First piece is the spring. Put that in a little hole there. And the next thing, you got two round bearings, I guess is what you call them. Those go on top of there. Alright. And I got those ready to slide in. Next thing we're going to do is put this fork in. Fork goes into the small hole. Alright. And then the shaft goes to here, and like I said, we lock that screw on top of there. It's going to be difficult to see. I've got the old system here, so when I slide this in, basically what we're going to do is it slides in right in here. And when you move the selector up and down, it moves engages the higher low gear. That's basically all it does. So let's get this put in there. Okay, been fooling around with this for a little bit and couldn't get it to go, but I kind of got looking at it. There's a set screw right here. You can pull this out. I think that's going to be the easy way to do it, and then relock it in once it's done. So let's give that a whirl. Yep, that's the trick. Get that done. So I got that gear done. So what we're going to do is lock this screw in here. That screw's locked down. So now we're going to put this selector knob on. There we go. And I'm going to lock this screw down on here. Where is it? Okay, so once you got those locked in, just check to make sure that it turns on. You may have to rotate the motor a little bit to get it to engage. It's neutral, high. Low. That's all there is to installing that. So look like that works pretty well. So next we're going to. So the next thing I decided to do is go ahead and put the bearing in the snap ring under, from the under part of the middle. I went ahead and kind of got it started there to go over the shaft. I'm going to go ahead and get that put on here, and we will go from there. Okay, looks like we've got the bearing installed now. Next thing I do is put the snap ring, and I'll be done with this side of it. Let's get this put on. Just have to put that snap ring on. There we go. Okay, I got the mill turned around here now. Next thing we need to do is to install the key on here. Tight fit. Pretty snug fit. Then we put the okay, when you look at this gear, there's a raised edge. There's a raised edge here, and it's flat here. The raised edge goes inwards. Okay, once you got that on, you just need to put the snap ring on there. There's the snap ring. Alright. So basically what we need to do at this point right here is to lube the gear and the motor right here, put it back on, go back to the other side where we put the gear at, and we need to lubricate all that. When I contacted Grizzly, they said that you want to use a lithium based grease, so I'll get my grease gun and we'll get that going next. Okay, I'm going to start greasing the gears here with lithium grease. I'm going to put this guard back on here. That's just to keep it from slinging grease onto the spindle. Rotate that bit around. Grease the rest of the way around it. Like I said, this is lithium-based grease. Next thing we're going to do is put this motor on here. Let's get the hardware together here so you can start doing that. Next thing I'm going to do is grease here where the high-low gears go. So I got some grease on there. I think I'm going to turn on the motor and let that thing have it run, and just make sure everything's working right, and I'll probably put some more grease in there. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do some of the gears. Okay, 2300 there. everything seems to look good there, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug the machine again. And we're going to finish assembling this thing. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to put this rear cover on. Looks like there is definitely two sides of the cover. There's let me zoom this out. So on one side here, the holes are recessed so that they lay flush. That's the way you want it. The other side is not that way. So let's go ahead and get this put in and get these screws put in. Okay, now we just need to get this stood up and get the cover put on it. Okay, I'm going to raise the X-axis up, turn it around, get the cover back on it. Excuse me. Excuse me. These are just tram aids that I made for this right here. So this guy so it doesn't go back and forth here. And then underneath here there's some bolts. Don't forget to tighten those up, because I wouldn't want to end up doing this. I'm not going to tighten up now. After I'm done showing this video, I'm going to go ahead and tram this mill head back to squareness, and that'll probably be a separate video I might consider doing down the line. If people are interested, just let me know in the comment section if you'd like to see a video about tramming the head of the mill. So, picked up. Alright, so here we go. This is the cover here. Get the wrench. Okay, that's it. Sewing part, like I said, I put plywood down here. I said in the first video, biggest reason for it was this, like, to protect my table. Make sure you have it unplugged when you're working on the machine. Let's go ahead and plug it back in now that we got everything back together and it upright, and put it through the paces and see, make sure it's working. I'll take off the top cap so I can see this because I don't have a tool in there right now. That's slow gear. Can't stop it, which wasn't working before. I'll turn it down here. So let's go ahead and turn it off. Put it into high gear. Okay, there we go. Let's put it through the paces. Everything looks good.